All right, welcome to Stampscapes Live. I'm going to be doing a faster version of this card made on the Friday night live stream. Done with the blue colored foil paper, printable vinyl, kind of a patterned holographic sticker paper, and this is just plain craft paper down here. So I want to simplify this a little bit. What we're not going to use on the faster version is this blue foil, because you have to spray seal it after you apply the media to it, specifically the white brilliance ink. Okay, so I want to remove that aspect of it and just go with something a lot faster, which is going to be just some plain black matte cardstock, which is going to be my actual card base. So it removes one of the components. And then down here, instead of the craft paper, which I thought would be good for sand, I thought, this wood grain paper kind of looks a little bit more sand-like to me, kind of inherently. So it's wood grain, but I think it'll work out pretty well. And then again, we're going to be using the same holographic sticker paper here. And again, it's the kind of the more shimmery type. I didn't know what to do with these types of papers before, but the more that I use them, the more kind of applications that kind of come up with them that really work in scenic stamping very well. So, okay, so this is a printable vinyl sticker paper. Okay, there's vinyl sticker papers out there. There's vinyl cold laminate sheets, which is basically just a transparent sticker. The printable aspect of this is due to the, I'm guessing, an emulsion type of coating that's over the top of this. Okay, so you can use other types of holographics out there, but just be aware that this one's the printable type that is a lot more accepting of different types of ink. So if you're using a holographic cardstock, then just go with something, like a stays-on type of ink that will print, dry, and adhere to it. Okay, on this one right here, you can use just about anything. I don't know, if the different brands of printable vinyls are different from other brands. I'm guessing not. And there's also some different types of inks out there. There's, different types of dye-based inks that have a different consistency. The best type of thing, anytime you're getting some kind of, unusual stamping surface, is to just do some test prints on it using your different types of inks to see what's compatible with it, okay? A lot of you have, I don't know, 5 different types of black ink pads or something like that. You have your VersaFine, you have your StaysOn, you have your dye-based inks, and you might have different brands of something, Catherine Pooler and Distress, black inks or something like that. So just give them a try and see what works for you. I'm going to use a Brilliance on mine. I found that this one works really well. It dries on here very nicely. And this, I'm going to be stamping out the Seaside Cove small on this one because I'm going to be doing 4.25 by 5.5 inch quarter page, card formatting here. So I don't want to go with the larger Seaside Cove like I did on this one. So I'll be using the smaller one just because I need room for those baby sea turtles down there. Hello, Travel Dreamer and Patty. Hope you're well. Hope you're enjoying having a good weekend. Okay, so that is the Seaside Cove small on there. And that with the Brilliance ink, that is already completely dry, believe it or not. This type of paper is designed to accept water-based media, and when you're running it through an inkjet printer, printer inks are designed to dry nice and quickly. So the Brilliance inks are water-based. So, and they're also thick inks. Pigment inks are thicker than dye-based inks, solvent inks. So I just feel it gives me a really good impression on there. I'd recommend a white and black Brilliance pad to just about everyone. It really opens up a lot of different possibilities of what you can use on different types of surfaces. Okay, so let's go ahead and address this one right now. Okay. Um, let's see. I can either cut this out right now, or I can just start coloring it. And let's go ahead and color it in while it's on this master sheet right here. Okay, so here's the thing that shocked me about this type of paper. It accepted the application of a pastel pencil beautifully, okay? And let me see here. I didn't spray seal this, so this is a little bit... I should spray seal this a little bit so that pastel pencil on there, that white on there, can rub off. So I'm going to give this like a light coating of a spray fixative, but look how three-dimensional that pastel pencil looks on there. I was just shocked that it adhered to it, just like it, it adheres to just plain paper. So this emulsion coating on there is really something. Let's see, what time is it there for you, Patty? Is it 5? Are you on Eastern? Yeah, I thought, I'm just going to do this quick scene, but I thought, let's see if anyone's on. So thanks for joining in. Okay, so what I'm doing is I am applying some of this white to the lighter areas. It's usually this little crest of the wave, or this little kind of foamy area. They call it like spindrift. It's it's that little kind of soft kind of spray that's coming off the crest of the wave. Let me see. Let me go close my office door here. I think my son just came home. He just got back from work, working at the gym as a coach. Okay, so I'm going in. This is not going to take too long. So any place where you see kind of a darker little area, which is the shadow underneath the wave, I'm just putting this right above it in case you're not sure of where to put it, okay? So anywhere where there's a line, dark line, you can put a light line right over the top of it. I mean, I think you don't have to do this part of it, but it kind of animates the this imagery a little bit more by adding that. It's kind of adding a value to it, in that it's lighter, okay? But it's also kind of adding an opacity to it. See this right here where I've applied the white right here? It's not as shimmery because you get that pastel that's kind of blocking out this colored patterning, okay? So it's giving it a little bit more variation. So the imagery looks a little bit more three-dimensional. I'll put a little bit on the top of my rocks here too. And a little bit on the horizon too, I thought looked pretty good. I did that with white pigment ink in the live stream, but I'm just going to try to do it with a little bit of this pastel pencil. I think that'll make it go a little bit faster. Okay, so that is done. So I don't know how long that took. Maybe, I don't know, did that take even a minute? If I didn't get up. All right. I love that card, how it turned out, Patty. I thought it would be a lot harder to blend these completely non-related types of components together. Especially this area and this holographic like that. I mean, that craft paper is like a brown bag, so... and this up here, I knew it would kind of merge with that okay, but it merged better because this area down here was a little bit more reflective. than I thought it would be, so I can see those clouds reflected down here a little bit more. So I was just really pleased with it. It was one that I thought, I don't know, I thought I would struggle with some aspects of it, and I was just curious to see if it was going to work at all. But when I finished with each kind of little component, I thought, yeah, it looks pretty good. You know, I thought I would have to blend more and kind of, I don't know. I thought I'd have a lot more kind of questionable decisions to make. Oops, I didn't cut that straight. Okay, so I'm just cutting right along that horizon line. Right up there. Okay, now I'm not going to use this whole thing, so... But I might as well cut it out anyways. Let's see. I didn't cut that very straight over here. Okay. I was going to do this with scissors, but I think this is just going to be faster. Okay, so the bottom part of this along that wave is a little bit contoured to the shadow area underneath this front wave, so just kind of go along with that. Now you don't need to cut out that sides because this isn't going to reach there anyway, so it's going to be like that. Okay. So let's do this one right now. Okay, so this is vinyl sticker paper. Okay, now down here you have to decide on this wood grain paper, do you want that to be the sand? I guess it can look like water going out there, but I don't like how symmetrical that is, so I'm going to use more of this bottom part. And the sand, remember, there's different patterns like this. I think the sand would look better horizontally like that. Okay, that patterning. So I cut this piece of paper, you know, so that lengthwise it would be running with the horizontal pattern of that wood grain. Okay, so sticker paper. Now this is like small enough to where I'm just going to use that sticker aspect of it. Sometimes if I'm applying like a big piece like this, like if the whole thing is like a sticker thing, sometimes I'd rather use my tape runner on the back of here, because this is like a really aggressive adhesive on here. So sometimes when I'm doing it and I accidentally lay it down, I don't get it real flat and there's like a crease in the middle or an air bubble that I have to work around, but this one should be just fine because it's really small. And let's see. Just get it as best as you can, flatten it out. I just ran my finger all the way all over that pastel there. Let me see. See that pastel? I went like this on there, and see that pastel? I got a little bit on my finger. I can see it right there. But it sticks pretty well, doesn't it? I mean, I totally forgot about that. I shouldn't be running my hand just across there like that. I should have patted it like that instead, but I don't know. This sticker paper is really something, or whatever, you know, that coating that they have on there. Okay, let's cut off the excess. Now, when I get these formatted into these cards like this, a lot of times I'm a little bit off, you know, after I adhere this to my card base. So sometimes I just open this, like up here, there's a little bit of space, so I'll just trim that off at this point in time and make it, you see the little of that black paper, and I'll make it more flush. Same thing with the edges like this, so I'm not worried about that part of it. So I got that little kind of frayed, I don't know if you can see it, that little frayed piece right there coming out like that, but I'm going to trim this off after I adhere it to the card base. They make this sticker adhesive pretty strong, I think, because sometimes I've seen like where they use this type of vinyl on things like mugs or something like that. on three-dimensional objects. I mean, it's not going to be like dishwasher safe or something like that, but I think it would adhere to those types of things pretty well. Okay, so we have this. Now, I'm going to adhere this in here later. I'm going to use a whole spray sealant on this side and just plop it right in there like that. But I don't want to do that yet because I want to work on this area up here before I put all these different componentry together. Well, in this case, it's just going to be this bottom part like this. Yeah, it gives it a lot of depth, doesn't it? Like that. So without that pastel in there, you have all that glitter just showing right through it. So it looks a little bit flatter like that when you have like the same textural or lighting throughout, a whole piece like this, especially, because on this one, there's not a lot of solid area in there. For the black ink to block out the background like that. So just a little bit of that pastel pencil really takes care of that. And this is like that emulsion on here is a really aggressive type of surface where it grabs inks really fast or media and it dries really fast. So when I was doing that live stream, I thought, okay, how am I going to get that white in there? Am I going to use some Brilliance ink on a cotton ball and start dabbing around like this? Because I can't blend it out. Because once I dab it down, that is it. It is dried and stuck on there. But the pastel pencil is just so much softer of a medium that it really, allows me a lot of, I don't know, freedom and just ease of application on here. So I'm sure the manufacturers weren't thinking of something like this, but I don't know. It's a really great combination, to utilize on there. Look at that, though. See, I just added a little bit more right down here, so it's a little bit more opaque. Okay, so let's go in and texturize the piece. Maybe I'll stamp out my sea turtles right now. On here, I can use that same Brilliance black. Should I just use the Brilliance black? Let's keep this as simple as we can. Let's use as much of the same type of media as we can, just to simplify this entire process as much as we can too. Just, to make a faster version of that Friday Night Live Horizon card. Okay, and I'm saying that because one of the inks that I really like on this paper is this Moonlight Night Totally Eclipse Black. It's a hybrid black ink, which means it's a combination of pigment and dye-based ink together. They don't even know what's in it. It's not the manufacturer, but it's the brand. KP of the art foamies. They have the Moonlight Duos, and I don't see too many hybrid inks out there anymore. There probably are some, but I'm not even sure which ones there are. But they still have it, and it's a pretty good combinations of things because it's a little bit thinner than pigment ink, but pigment inks are a lot more surface oriented than dye-based inks. So you get the penetration and staining power of dye-based inks because that's how dyes work, by staining paper. They absorb into the paper. And you get the strength of pigment inks because you get that pigment sitting on the surface, so it's not all getting absorbed. But anyways, the Brilliance works on here really good too. Okay, so we have that, and let's go in and I add in a little bit of extra texturing. I'm not going to use the smaller baby sea turtles on this one, which is this size right here. I guess I could like that right over here, but let's keep this one kind of a more kind of minimal card than the one from Friday. What time are we on this one? 20 minutes? I don't know if I'm 10 minutes away from, making this like a completely quick card version, but it's pretty fast. Okay, so utilizing the tiny rocks, a lot of it, most of these impressions are like the second or third post first impressions. So like the first impressions are those darkest ones. So I was using this in its drier incarnation for most of these right here, because I don't want this texture to compete with kind of the silhouette shape of the baby sea turtles, okay? But looking at this, let's go for a little bit more of these darker ones on the perimeter, darker impressions. What I'm doing is I'm kind of creating a little bit of a vignette, okay? I'm almost using this as it's a texturing stamp, but I'm almost using it to tone here as well by making the edges darker. Because I'm not gonna come in here and add extra coloring, okay, shading, like I did on the other one. Again, just because I want this one really fast. So this is a really fast way to do that right here. So you utilize the dry one like this. It might not look like you're doing anything, but you're just stamping out maybe, I don't know, a lot of 5, 10, I don't know, maybe even 2% versions of it. So it's a little bit darker like that around on the perimeter. I'm with you, Patty. On some of these cards, like, I don't know where it is, but I used my tape runner. A lot of times I do that X on here on my tape runner. I'm just not on this one right here, but if I was taping something and I go perimeter and I stuck it down, but it gets a little bit wavy in the middle, like that. So I've been using that spray adhesive. Spray adhesive takes like 2 seconds or something like that to spray this on here. And then I have full, complete coverage of my, adhesive, and it never comes off. It's something that we always had to use in school, for all of our projects. They wanted them professional looking. And so spray adhesive was always in our list of requirements for, like college art classes, design classes, especially. More so the design classes than the art ones. Okay, let's go for some foreground here. I'm just going to use my reeds on here. On the other one, I use my pickerel, it's not pickerel rush, but I don't know, that kind of pickle weed looking thing. I think it is like the juniper. Let's just go for this one right here, because a lot of people have that reeds one like that. So see that? So you see how it's darker on the edge like that? So it works kind of like spotlighting for that those turtles. I like using the wood grain, I think, more than the craft paper on this one, because we already have the color in here and the color variations. See that kind of that streaky area like that? You're not even really aware of that it's like a wood grain too much. I mean, if someone knows, they might, it'll stand out, especially if you have the wood grain paper. You went and picked some of it up, but I don't know, that makes for a pretty quick lower portion like that. Okay, so on this upper portion, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply this white pigment ink. I'll do the moon as well. I'm going to just do it straight on to this paper right here. So that should be easy. So that, again, this is why I don't adhere all this in here to begin with. I think it's just going to be easier just to apply it on this and then stick that lower portion down there. So pretty, basic or simple ingredient list. All right, here's I'm going to use my template, my cloud template from Friday night here. Okay, this is getting real. This is what you do. I think I actually have a video for this. This is my cotton, C for cotton, brilliance pad. Okay, now on this one you don't have to use brilliance either because I'm not doing this on foil, but if you're doing it on foils, use the brilliance or just a metallic type of non-porous paper. Okay, it's like I'm shearing the my pad here of all that cotton fuzz. It was time. I was starting to get a lot of like cotton fuzzy lint on my pieces. I do that like once every, I don't know, maybe 4 months or something like that. So I don't do it too often. Let's see. Oh, double stick tape, huh? And that does it, Patty? It's more permanent. Yeah, some of those double stick tapes are pretty aggressive, so I've had that vinyl paper for years, but realized it was sticker paper. But realize. Oh, you didn't realize it was sticker paper, probably. You mean Candy? And now you're stickerizing everything. Okay, let me see. Let me get my bearings here. I don't know. Wasn't as much lint there. Okay, I cleaned off my pad there. So this card is actually going to take less time than it does here because you won't be cleaning off a pad. Glue sticks. Everyone just get a can of the get a can of 3M spray adhesive and just be done with it all. Of course, you have to go outside to spray, you know, but one can goes quite a long way. And maybe I don't know if you're doing just like small gluing applications, little components or something like that. But if you're doing like gluing like quarter page onto something else, that spray adhesive goes a long way. And you don't slather it. You just kind of give it a light coating, maybe a couple light coatings or something like that. And you have about, I don't know, I would try to glue things down within like 2 minutes or something like that. You walk back in, you get it set where you want, lay it down. I kind of put another piece of paper on top and I brayer it usually. And you get just the really good adhesion, contact area by doing so. And again, it's really just a really clean, smooth, complete merging of, your two surfaces that you're gluing. But again, for smaller things, having something just really convenient right at your table to do is good. All right, let's see. I have to change my application rate on this matte paper. On the foils, it's not absorbing and grabbing. I'm talking about the white pigment ink onto the surface as fast. So I'm applying a lot more, but this one's like instant, because it's this is a matte black right here. So I need to be a little bit careful about my amount of application. Like I put a big glob up there, but I just kind of blended it out. Okay, one of the things I was mentioning in the live stream is that, I don't know if you can see, but I'm kind of moving my mask here as I go, like that. And it kind of gives me a looser edge, okay? And, it's not so crisp on the edge. And I like that for clouds. You know, clouds are moving. No, I love like a plastic, you know, mask or template cloud. I do like that look, but for something like this, I want things a little bit more fluid, like that edge right there. I mean, you can even do like little wisps if you want, like this. You know, I think that looks kind of cool. You know, that kind of wind coming off the cloud too, like that. But you want a little bit of a definitive edge like that, sure. But what you do is you just kind of loosen it up a little bit more with some additional applications, or you kind of move this as you're doing it. So you get like a pretty good definition like that, and then you move it around a little bit more as you're going. So I know that it's like a foreign type of thing, a process that we've typically done a lot. You know, if we've done template styles of applications of media. So you just get, you know, kind of get the feel of it, you know. The first one might kind of be weird or a little bit weird. But, you know, with something like this, if you don't see what you see right there, you know, like what you see, then you just add on a little bit more and kind of blend it out a little bit like this. Light touch like this, so you can kind of get the feel of how something's going to look. And then if you like kind of what's happening right here, see this kind of glow happening over here, then you just add a little bit more. And you just have, if it's kind of coming out a little bit awkward, then you have less ink on whatever applicator you're using. That's what I always do. Anytime I have some kind of uncertain type of whatever application technique or something like that I'm doing, or I don't know if I want something, but I want to try it, I just have less media so that it's just not as definitive a mark or an application that comes about faster. Okay. Just kind of ease into something a little bit more. Okay, let's see. Let's add this like this. So on this, I'm kind of adding it on the edge like this. Let me see. This, and I'm kind of moving it a little bit. So I'm kind of going out like this as I go. I'm tapping it, moving my thumb, left thumb. So I get this kind of this haze coming out that way, like that. Then you go and freehand it a little bit. The thing that I have to kind of watch for is if I get impatient and I go in for like a more, stronger slathered, slathering of a white pigment. But again, the good thing is that you can kind of adjust it. If you're doing it on foil, if you don't like it at all, you can just wipe the whole thing off and start over again. But on something like this, we are... You can make things lighter, but you're not going to remove, ink off completely. All right, so see that right there? So see, it's kind of like blobby like that, but that's how it looks, on the whole. So, I don't know. It makes for some nice kind of fluid-looking clouds that look like they're a little bit in motion, I guess. Oh, yeah, I didn't notice. Yeah, I do have that sand pattern. We could use that on there. If I did the sand pattern, though, I'd do it really lightly if you're going to have the baby sea turtles over the top of it. So you would do it in like a light, I don't know. No, I guess it would be like a light brown. Like if you had like the sand pattern in like a Distress Ink walnut stain or something like that, I think that would be a pretty good one to go with. Yeah, for sure. I don't know if I would do that one over the top of the wood grain paper, though. I don't know. I guess we could. It depends where you're using that wood grain, though. If it was kind of a lighter portion of the word, like this wood grain paper, in some areas of the paper, the patterns are a lot more definitive because there's a lot more contrast in the wood. I mean, this one that I'm using, those placemats, there's not a really super dark area, but there are areas where there's like, I don't know, I guess it represents these wood knots, or I guess it is wood knots in there. Okay, let's go with the moon here. I'm going to have this moon kind of peeking out from the clouds. So I'm going to go fairly low with this one. Okay, on this one I'm going to add quite a bit of the pigment ink here because I want it to be pretty light on here. Okay, now this whole area up here, I don't need to spray seal it like I did on the blue foil. Blue foil, this white pigment ink dries, but it doesn't adhere to it. All right, so I spray sealed mine. My spray seal did kind of eat through some of the lighter touches up here. I don't know if you can see that right there. See that? Yeah, it's because I sprayed it too thickly up top there. So what I did for this area down here, I just sprayed from more distance and give it a quick kind of layering down like that dries as soon as it hits it. And then I did it like another 1 or 2 times right up here. But here, I don't know. I shot it too thick. But that being said, I can just go back in and add another layer over the top of that and spray seal that layer. Okay, so here we have this. That'd make for a great like Halloween kind of application, wouldn't it? Something like that. Let's get a little bit more of that horizon there. Let's make that a lot lighter, I think. You can see the lightness of that moon like that. So if the moon is that light, then you can kind of illuminate more of your clouds around it, reflecting that moonlight. So just right up here, kind of bringing a little bit more lighting up here. Okay, like that. And I was deciding whether or not I wanted to add in my palm trees. I think I do onto this. Okay, it might be a good idea to wait just a little bit for that to dry. It is a pretty good slathering of ink on there, but I'm just going to do it right now. I like that foil just as is without the palm trees. I mean, I think the palm trees look good on this though too, but I thought it looked pretty good even without those palm trees on the horizon like that. I don't know, those palm trees kind of are really good for that little horizon area like that, having something so dark next to that slight light right there on the horizon though, because it created a little bit more contrast. Okay, let's see if I can get a good impression of this black ink over the top of that kind of wet white pigment ink there. Art glitter glue to adhere cards. A glitter glue. Is that like thicker Travel Dreamer? The glitter glue? Hello in the chat, Vigo Zealot. I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly. Hey, thanks for watching all those tutorials and commenting too. I appreciate that. Okay. Decent enough. It almost looks like I'm doing a reverse impression of the palm trees, Palm Island, into the into that white ink. Okay, let's see. Let's go like that. Maybe I should have went with like one tree over the top of that moon. Sometimes if you put something overlapping your light source, it makes the light source seem that much lighter by, you know, via that contrast in there. Okay, we go like that. And we have it like this right here. The blue foil makes for a lot more of a friendly type of horizon to swim out into those for those baby sea turtles. But hey, there's perils everywhere, right? Okay, so let's go into this with some of the paint pens. You can do splatter painting too, but let's go with the blue to bring some of this blue of the holographic up into the sky. Or you can do it, you know, like multiple colors. If you have, okay, so on this one right here, I also did a lot of crystals like that. But again, I want to keep this one pretty minimal, you know, just to give a faster kind of version of this. Okay, now see on this something like this, you know, if I don't like this up here like that, you know, you can always just drop something else in here that you want to put in there. You know, you can put another, you know, thing like this up there, you know, so you can just cover that right up. You can still use this card base, no problem. Let's see how this goes right here. Okay, I'm thinking about maybe I should go with the splatter painting. That's going to be a lot faster, but let's just go with this. A lot of people have paint pens, gel pens, you know. But not all of you have, you know, like a Dr. Martens or just a paint that you can kind of splatter paint with. Okay, I'm going to try to, you know, have this depiction of a kind of a Milky Way, so I'm going to do this more like in this little, I don't know, whatever track of stars. Here, I'll go like a little bit of an S curve, maybe. See, it's like this, but then have, you know, a few kind of perimeter. Silver would be good up here too. But I think glitter would be perfect as well. I don't have too many like glitter pens. I think I have some gel ones though. Gel and metallic glitter. Okay, I think that's brought the sky to life a little bit more. Yeah, it looks a lot better. No, you wouldn't be able to see like the Milky Way like this at all on such a bright full moon night, but you know, this is all like you know, anytime we're doing any kind of card, it's more fantasy or like impressionism anyways. We're not going for like realism. you know, it's only going to be so real, you know, if you're using like a, you know, holographic glitter paper in a scene anyway, right? Okay, so here's the blue. Yeah, yeah, you can look like little Christmas lights. That'd be perfect. If I didn't do that moon there too, one of the things that I was saying is if you have like baby sea turtles going out towards like a, like a North Star or something like that, it would look even more kind of holiday-ish. It'd be kind of interesting to do like Christmas light colors up here, the multicolored ones, red, green, blue, white, what, yellow. Okay, change your size of some of your stars too, just so it's not like too uniform like that. I don't know if you can see the blue in there. Let's go with a little bit of you know, a brighter blue. That other blue is real pastel toned. I guess this down here is it's kind of a warmer blue, isn't it, for the most part? Like right there. Yeah, it's like that aqua blue. Let me see here if I have. This one was the aqua. Was that the one I was just? No, I wasn't using this. This one's fairly light too. So, let me just go for this blue right here. All right, what do we have here? I don't know. A little bit lighter than like a cobalt blue, but don't be afraid to overlap some of these other, some of your stars. Okay, so I won't do too many. I'm not going to go crazy with that. But did you see that little bit of variation up there in colors? Here, let's go with a... let's go with a little bit of green. I'll keep this green fairly subtle, but it'll bring some of that warmth of the... I don't know if holographic paper is warm, but, there is that kind of that warmer green in it. Like that. All right, so you're bringing some of those colors up there just to, kind of match some that color scheme that's going on down there. Okay, that's looking better and better to me with that color up there. You see that violet down there too, and that holographic reflection. Let's go with this up here as well. Like you can really see some of that violet at some angles. Let's see. Like, I don't know, it's somewhere. Whenever I want to get that color, it's like, oh wait, where'd it go? I can't get it back. Okay, so here's some of that up here as well. Okay, this one's another pastel, so it doesn't, you don't see it like too much, but. All right. So those are those colors like that. I think that looks a lot cooler like that. Now there's just too much monotony up there though. So I'll do something that I always do. Do I always do it? I don't know. A lot of the times. We'll break up that monotony by making some of these stars kind of glow like these ones. I need to kind of apply that glowing little touch around there because when I spray seal it, it gets a little bit darker. But yeah, these little kind of glowing orbish type of things. In this case, it's just some glowing stars. Okay, pigment ink on here, blot it off quite a bit, especially if, you're using a pretty wet pad. So just be aware of it and then just lightly dab down, get a feel of how much is applying. You don't want a big glob of pigment ink, especially on the matte cardstock, because it'll be tough to kind of remove that. That being said, there's always something you can do. You can just try to rub it as much as possible, and you can apply like a black dye-based ink over the top of it, and it'll blend right in there. But then you'll just, reapply your stars in that area. So when I say be careful, it's just, just it's not because there's a point of no return. It's just that you would have to, we'd have to redo something that we'd rather not have to. All right, so you got those little glowing stars in there like so. This one's a little bit thick right there. Just about like that a little bit. We need a little bit one right around here, don't we? We need glow balance. By the way, a really great technique for things like fireflies as well. Okay, let's see, like that. Okay, I'm really tempted to apply some other metallic, but again, I want this one to be really fast. Well, relatively faster than the other scene from the Friday. But yeah, I mean, it's not going to take, it won't take any longer if you're applying like a glitter pen instead of a paint pen at the same time, making that dot or something like that in there. All right, so we have that. Okay, so we bring a little bit of this color up here into the sky, like so. It needs a little bit more, I think, maybe with a little bit more of that paint pen. Okay, but we have these little dots up here, so we brought some of the color from this holographic into our patterned sky up top like that. But let's bring some of that texture down into here too, okay? So you bring from the color from this up top. And it's also the pastel pencil is a pretty soft application, so I'm going to go back into this lower section right here. And I don't know if you won't be able to see this at all unless I hold it up at an angle, and hopefully you'll be able to see this. But I'm bringing some of this like splashing, in this case, splashing wave dotted area down into this area. I'll put some highlights down here too. But some of these little dots of white coming off the crest of the wave, so it's kind of on the top of the wave area. I guess you can put some onto your wave pattern down here as well. And let's bring some of these little highlights onto some of these reeds. I'm just looking for opportunities to bring this texture into this lower area, just to bring a little bit of continuity between, a pretty unrelated looking, paper or cardstock to, a metallic holographic, and then a totally wood grain type of paper down here. So we're just trying to bring some elements of these two areas together, or, to give them something in common. Something like that. Okay, yeah, you can see those little dots. So you see those little dots down here, like that, those textures. So it's the same type of texture, again, as our sky up top, like that. So it gives it a little bit of a continuity. We have some right here in the foreground a little bit. But yeah, that area up there, it kind of makes this area down here a little bit more animated too, and it looks a little bit more three-dimensional to me too. Those little splashes coming off of the waves like that. So, okay, on this top front part, I'm just going to stamp my little quote stamp, which is like the top. This is going to get folded down like this, so you want to put it this way. So just get your bearings. You don't want to stamp the wrong side of the card, like down here or something like that. Okay, I'm doing a little test impression right here because I just re-inked this, so my pad is really not really evenly inked up right now. Okay. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. I like that quote for my little baby sea turtles. And then I'll add my little Milky Way type of patterning to the front as well. Be careful that you don't go over the quote too much. You don't want to have like a bunch of little dots within that space. All right, so I'm not gonna, okay, I'm gonna add more of that later. This will be a kind of an interesting area to add, a couple of those crystals though too. So, and then this right here, I'll just use a spray adhesive on this. Get this laid in. When you use a spray adhesive on this, don't spray this part, but spray this part like this. And then when you go in to lay it in here, take this and, like, I don't know, it doesn't have to be like 90 degrees like that, but kind of fold this like this. And then you just take this, the whole thing is going to be, with some adhesive on it, and just lay it in like this. Don't touch it down like that, but you just kind of lay it in like this. And I'm going like an angle so I can kind of move it around like that. And then I just go right to the edge like that. And then I just lay it down like so, and it'll stick. And then I just kind of brayer it. But I have it folded like that so I can get this lined up really well with that. So anyway, there you have it. Okay, we're almost at an hour. I don't know how long that other one, that bigger one, lasted. But okay, so I don't know. I was doing something like, cleaning my pad out and stuff like that too. So remove like, I don't know, a few minutes off, something like that. But I think that looks pretty good. So that wood grain paper, I think, was a really good solution. And then I didn't do any toning down here. I was doing a lot of like colored pencil work on this one in that lower section. So we removed all that. Oh yeah, I forgot about doing that, that white pebbly, tiny rocks down here too. It's because the craft paper just inherently, you know what I mean? It's just a really basic looking paper, so that wood grain paper just, it took care of, I don't know, like 3 or 4 different types of whatever techniques. Steps. It took care of a lot of steps for me in there. And again, I like that. I mean, this foil up here, this blue foil, is really cool looking, okay? It's just more friendly looking. It reflects light too, okay? But this is a faster thing, methodology to it. But I totally think the blue foil is a really good way to go. You can do something too. Like, okay, so if you were just, okay, Kevin, hey, those clouds took a while. I don't want to do that. And if you don't want to do something on the blue foil with like an ink, you can cut out, you can use that, you can use this hole punch like this, the hole punch part, right? And we're talking about different adhesives, and you can just, use this and just use it as an adhesive like that, Boy, that is a really stark moon, but you can color it a little bit or something like that, or you can do whatever you want to it, but that moon up there, see that moon? I don't know, man, that might be a better way to go. Look at that moon reflecting in that water down there. I think that looks pretty good. I don't know, that's another option right there. Talk about, kind of removing some of the process. I do like that cloud area up there, but like I said, you can just kind of like bypass it. Here's that moon right there too. I don't know. Well, the good thing about it is I can still add that moon in there if I want to, but look at that moon reflecting in that that holographic sticker paper like that. You can get that moon reflection better, you know what I mean? It's a lot starker of a contrast than the white pigment ink over a colored paper, So it just comes to show you kind of the difference in that. This one's almost too stark, but I don't know. It really works in terms of the reflection area. So It's another option. Now, in these clouds in here, they're kind of, as they dry, they're getting a little bit darker. I would kind of brighten them up with some additional layers on there because as you build up like 2 or 3 layers of white pigment ink, it gets a lot more opaque. And I think that looks really good to have them a little bit lighter, maybe, especially if you want to get that kind of more, of a reflected light representation from the source of light that's happening within the scene. So. Yeah. And again, I like little crystals and things like that in there. I think that makes for a nice kind of twinkly little touch, but I don't know. It'd be kind of interesting to just put that on the front of it too as an option. You need to add some color on your palm trees to look Christmassy. We can do that whole thing like the, what was it? That Corona commercial, that Corona beer commercial, where there's this little hut and some guy's like whistling, that, Christmas song, and then he flips on this light and it's like he's got the Christmas lights up in his palm tree. That'd be cool. Let's see. I have a small Santa and sleigh flying. It would be fun to try this format with it. It would, Candy. You might want to do is do that over. How big is it though? I think if you can just stamp it over like this, that'd be pretty awesome. It'd be kind of interesting too, is if you have, I wouldn't do it because we're card makers and we don't need to have like one card, for every different season, It doesn't have to be this seasonal card that we're switching out, with componentry. But if you had like some sort of scenario like that, but then you had like something like this, it's a moon, but on one of them there's like a Santa and sleigh, and then on another one you have like bats over it or something like that, and you just kind of like use that little temporary dot and you put it in here. And it's Halloween, and then you slip another one in there. It's Santa and Christmas. I don't know what would another one be. I don't know, like something for I don't know, like birds. It could be any kind of season, not holiday or or something like that. But anyways, here's the 2 different versions right here. This one's a little bit ominous with that black up there, I'd have to say. It doesn't have the feel for me as this one. But this one's, I don't know, like I said, I wanted to just do one that it's using less componentry, you know what I mean? There's 2 different types of papers on here, just plus the black. Like I said, more crystals or something like that. Twinkly, I think, and it would look a lot more. What I have too is I have blue crystals as well. Maybe I'll put some blue crystals on there, blue and white crystals, just to kind of, I don't know, bling it up a little bit. Anytime you have something like that, it really changes the kind of the spirit of the piece too. And then maybe I'll apply them over the front of it as well. But yeah, I really like this. Where'd it go? I really like that sticker paper though. That this textured sticker paper like this for the seaside coves in there. I don't know. I didn't think pairing something like this up just with regular papers. I mean, it's not white cardstock or something like that, but I guess the white cardstock, you can just change it to whatever you want down there. I think I did that on another scene before, and I thought it looked okay, but I was able to match kind of the colors of this more, starting with, a white piece of paper, but I don't know, I just wanted to create some faster applications of things, so starting off with those colored papers, was a good way to go. And I don't know, it's just like faster to do. So I don't know. It opens up, I think, the possibilities for some of those crazy papers as far as our usage goes. And I think it's just absolutely fine, going with, three completely, I don't know, are they completely different papers? They're pretty far apart from each other, you know, black to wood grain, although those two harmonize pretty well, but would they harmonize with a shimmering, multicolored, metallic cardstock? And I think it works just fine. Maybe it depends on what's in there. Maybe it has to be water. I don't know. I don't know. It'd probably be kind of strange if it's like a meadow, if it's not like a snowy meadow or something like that. I guess that's another thing. So water or like a snowy terrain would be good for that holographic type of sticker paper. As far as usage goes, it could be a holographic, but again, the sticker paper, the printable sticker paper, vinyl just seems to work really well. If you like these types of looks too, and I mean, that Seaside Cove was really fast to finish off. I would get one of these Stabilo Carbothello pastel pencils. I don't know if it comes in a bunch of different colors, maybe black and white or something like that, but this thing really works well for me, and I'm using it all the time for all of these different types of papers too. And I just recently kind of discovered it. I discovered it in my my art tackle box, from like college, because I was looking for a white colored pencil because my Prismacolor one ran out. So I thought, is this a colored pencil? Then I started using it. It's like scratchier. I had no idea what it was until I looked it up, and I thought, oh, I found one. It's like, oh, it's a pastel pencil. So, but that it works on here is kind of shocking and a really great surprise. So they're not like expensive either. So it's really pretty nice for that. Decorate palm trees all the time, Patty. That's a good idea. We can put in some. You might even be able to put in some like little Christmas lights in there or something like that. Or you can put in. It'd be kind of interesting to use some of those really tiny crystals on there too, on palm trees. It might be pretty cool, huh? All right. So we want to see Christmas and Christmas in the tropics. Christmas in the tropics palm tree lighting scene from you, Patty. Post it on the Facebook group. Spin a wheel and get a different look. Yeah, Kay, wouldn't that be fun? Oh, you can do one of those cards too. It'd be kind of cool. You can do one of those cards where it's like that. There's the like spinning thing. Don't think people have that where it's like the spinning thing on the side. You got the little wheel in the back, and you can kind of spin it here, have it stick out a little bit, where you go like this, and instead of like this moon right here, it's this hole. And then you just kind of rotate it, and a new thing shows up in that hole. Maybe it'd be better for like a Halloween thing or something like that. You have like you're going like this, and there's this hole here. It looks like a moon or something like that, and it's like an eyeball. Then you go like this, and it's bats or something like that, and a witch. You know what I mean, or something like that. That'd be pretty cool. So, I know card constructions. That's another thing that I need to kind of explore a lot more. I haven't been doing that over the years, but kind of the hidden compartment Halloween cards that I did. I started getting into 2 months ago. Those were really fun to do. I don't know, yeah. I don't know. We need to explore more kind of three-dimensional types of things and scenic stamping and like construction things. I've avoided that because, you know what I mean, it takes more work to do. But I don't know. You can't deny they're like certainly fun types of things to have kind of more of an interactive type of card to get into. It reminds me of a kid, the most exciting types of cards used to be like things like pop-up cards or something like that, or, ones that you kind of pull a tab and there was something that was happening in there. It makes it more kinesthetic to play around with. White pencil for using on photos. I don't know. I don't think so, Candy, but I would think that you might be able to use something like the white pencils for photos might be, I mean, it might be, but the white pencil could be like a grease pencil or something like that, which is probably more like an oil pastel. This one's like a soft, like a dry pastel type of thing. That's what it feels like. But if you have like a photo pencil, I don't know, give it a try. Because this type of paper right here is a lot more akin to photo paper than anything, because it's got that, it probably has a similar emulsion type of surface on it that's accepting of those types of printer inks. So like a professional printer ink is probably pretty similar to, you know, the home inkjet printer ink, I would think. I don't know. There's probably a little bit of different chemistry, but I don't know. It might all be based on the same type of thing. Yeah. Uh, I'm trying to think if there was any difference. I don't think there was any difference that I could feel between. Let me see something here. Here it is right here. I have it right here on my desk. Let me test out something right here. Okay, so this is like your printer paper, Costco. I have a feeling this is not going to work on here though. Oh, okay. So this one's like a gloss coating. Okay, so this is not, I don't think this is going to apply. Yeah, it's not applying like it does on this emulsion, but I mean, I get a little bit like that. But this paper here, the printable vinyl sticker paper though, it's more of like a, I don't know, it's more of like a matte almost. So it's a little bit shiny though, but because it's the metallic holographic that's underneath the surface. But I have a feeling that this emulsion coating on the top of that metallic, you know, glossy type of shimmery paper or vinyl or whatever, vinyl paper, I have a feeling that that emulsion on there is probably a matte emulsion or a matte coating on there. So it's a lot more accepting of something like this. That's what I'm assuming, because it works like a charm over the top of this. And of course, pastels work better on, you know, matte papers or something that's got some tooth to it. So this, I mean, you saw it go on there if you watch that portion of this video. But this went on there like super, super easy. You know, as I'm, you know, scribbling around on there, it's not as if I'm doing this on like a piece of matte paper like up here, but it's not too far apart from it. You know, I doubt if I can build up like a ton of it, but I don't know. I was able to go pretty opaque like that, which is a pretty good slathering. So, and it stuck pretty good. So, I mean, it probably needs a little bit of sealant on there, but you don't need to seal it off too much, because, you know, you can rub your finger and I'm sure you get a little bit of residue, but it's not like lifting it off as if it were on something like, you know, a foil or something like that. So, I don't know. It just removes a lot of the application kind of considerations in terms of level of difficulty. It's like super, super easy to apply it. So, I don't know. Did you put your name of the pencil in the description? I'll put it in there, Patty. Yeah, I put it on. I didn't put a name of the description of it on the Friday night because I haven't formatted that yet, but it's in the other ones. Any of these ones, I think I put it in there. The wood grains where I happen to be using that pastel pencil. I should probably pick up another couple of those pastel pencils because I think it's going to be used a lot, because it works just so easy for all of these scenes like this. I would have had to. I use some pigment inks on these things too, I think. But that pastel pencil works really fast, and it takes out, like I said, a lot of the time and blending considerations just completely out of the equation. Because if I was trying to do that type of thing in the white pigment ink, it would apply to it, but it would be harder to blend that out because it's just drying so instantly. Where this one's just like, practically, it's like going in there with like a colored pencil type of technique, except it's a pastel pencil. So the white colored pencil is not going to stick to this. Because I tried with the black. You can apply a little bit, like I put a little bit under these ways, but it doesn't apply enough to where I don't, it's worth our time. But the pastel pencil applies like instantly and goes on there. Now I haven't tried it like on all of them. Here's this other type of holographic, these two are different brands here. Let me try something really fast here. Okay, so yeah, this one, it's going on, no problem here like this. See this? I mean, that's as if it's going on like on a matte piece of paper. That is so easy to do. And look at this. See that like that? I'm rubbing it off like that. And that's on there pretty well, but it's not on there so much that I can't just kind of, apply kind of a lighter touch like this and kind of scribble it around a little bit. Like that. See that right there? So this is just, I think these types of papers are all pretty similar. Here's the starry one like this, So yeah. All right, but I'll put that in the description. It's the I don't know how you pronounce it. Schwann Stabilo Carbothello 1400. This one's like probably 35 years old, so I think it might be called something else now because those brands keep changing ownership all the time. So I don't know. Get it and make your lives easier. All right, thanks everyone. Have a great rest of evening. Have a great rest of evening. Happy baby sea turtle dreams to you all.